Stupid. Pain in the neck. Wretched. Miserable. Oh, well. Back on the hunt, though I think I've pretty much used up all of my zone, up with all of the bits and pieces now. I think this might be it for the Electric Lizarthos till the next Blood Moon, which is rather unfortunate. Aha! Boss is on the radar. A Lizarthos right next to the edge of the map. We'll get them next time, Muttley. Oh, haha. Oh, that was cheeky. Yes. Right. Oh, you got me. That was it gone. There it is. Oh. I know I can't go any further. It's the edge of the bleeding map. One of the ones who spawned Lizarthos right next to the blasted edge of the map. God damn it. Right, no Lizarthos. Oh, hello. There be a Lizarthos. Is that the front? That's the front. Good job, Link. Alright. Oh, hello. Goodbye. Taking your bow, by the way. Right, I think that is now the end of the Lizarthos. Oops. The cactus there. Aha! There's the Lizarthos. Which I get nout, basically. Okay, fine. Right, fine. Fine. Oh, that's convenient. Hey! It finally dropped a tail. taking us to 14. Yeah, these drop tails a lot less than the other ones. Right. I'll loop back round, but I think they're the ones we started with, so I don't think I'm actually standing any chance of getting a Lizopos-y thing here, but whatever. Aha! A Lizopos that I have not marked on the map yet. Okay, Lizopos. That also... yeah, only good. Okay, oh, there's another one over there. Nice! We're halfway. No, we're not. Oh, we're nowhere near halfway. Right, okay, fine. Drop that, take that, thank you. Don't need that, keep that. Cool, I will take that, the... marvelous. Right. Aha. You're 4 away from just under halfway. Well, there we go, that's another Lizopos tail. Of course, the game is being kind to me when I'm running out of Lizopos in the desert. Aye. Wrong button. No, the game still doesn't like me. Okay, fine. Well, we're making progress, I suppose. Oh. There we go, that's another one. Does Minoru need weapons? Yes. Well, technically no, but she does more damage if you give her weapons, which is why we're going to go after the Phantom Gannons at some point. At least before we go into the final boss and give her a couple of Gloom Clubs, and I want to get myself sorted with some Demon Bows, because they're quite useful. So at this rate, I might as well just stick with the duplex. Right, I was going to say, every time, although I'm complaining, oh, yeah. Game's mocking me now. There we go. Oh. To the Zophos location. Okay. Right. So, in terms of the Zophos tail count, we are up to 16 whole electric Lizophos tails. Gordon Bennett, that took us stupid amounts of time for very little gain. I'm going to get a cider. Just beautiful, isn't it? How many ice breath Lizophos tails did we need? 15? Right, well, we might as well do the ice Lizophos now. Nothing says fun like farming 3 different types of Lizophos. One after another. At least you'll never have to do this again. That is one great blessing, yes. The electric Lizophos, I'm going to probably be spending the next 4 Blood Moon cycles looking for tails, but yeah. Right, okay, well I know where we need to go. So... tell you what, before I start farming the ice Lizophos tails, I'm going to heal. And I'm cheap, so I'm going to use the hot springs rather than an actual meal. Link can go hungry for a little bit longer. Yes, I only need 15 ice Lizophos tails. Technically, I could do some Great Fairy upgrades now, but I couldn't do that many because I need 24 electric Lizophos tails for the set. And it's just... If Nintendo ever did release a Master Mode, imagine doing it then. No. I'm not doing this on Master... I might do a normal run of Master Mode, but I'm not doing a completionist run of Master Mode. I'll do the story, and however many Korok seeds it takes for me to get my full inventory, maybe, but... The thing is, even on Master Mode, at this point, it'd just be like we were playing on the game normally. It wasn't Breath of the Wild. You reach a certain point where you've got every armor upgraded and you've got decent weapons, and the game doesn't really feel any different. Same for this. What are we going to have with Master Mode? We'll have gold enemies that take more hits than the silver enemies. Just get on with it. Lionel on the Great Plateau. Maybe a Lionel on the Sky Island. 121 is it? That's all we're getting for this game. Probably, I suspect. Yeah, I don't think we'll get much more patches. I'd love a patch where they fix the blasted drop rate of the Lezophos tails and some of the other bits and pieces of the game, but it was about 4 months ago that we got 1.2.1, and I don't think we're going to see another patch. Especially if they've moved development away from any sort of DLC. No, I don't think it's getting another update either. I think it's stable enough, it's polished enough. They fixed the Kakaraku frame rate issues. For the most part, there's no major glitches that are going to cause issues, so yeah. Master Mode did change some stuff with the areas, like floating platforms with enemies, but yeah, most of it was on normal mode. Oh yeah, there were the floating platforms, where you could get better weapons. I remember those. Yeah, they were useful. Well, yeah, it's just basically another tier of enemy, and that's it. And they hit harder. Well, like I said, after a while, you reach a point where you just don't worry about it. I didn't. Got to the end of that game, we basically curb-stomped Calamity Ganon at the end of it. We blasted him down with the Divine Beasts, and then we basically flattened him with the Master Sword. On full power, because we'd done Trial of the Sword. We can take solace in saying no Trials of the Sword and no Eventides. Yeah, apart from the Eventide Shrines, which chat had great fun laughing me over. Right. Midnight. We'll do some runs of this. Well, there's the answer. The Ice Lezophos do indeed. No. Bad game. No. Seven. Okay. It was always fun trying to guess if it was an eventide or not. Yes. And my reaction to it being an eventide was in no way tied to that. 8 left. If the Ice Breath Lezophos tails drop at the same rates as the Fire Breath Lezophos tails, we'll have the Ice Breath done. And then we can wrap the Snow Quill, and that's one less armor set that we need to do. Technically, if we want to break up the monotony of Lezophos farming, we could then move on to the Star Fragments. Or we could go to the depths and start farming Pose and Zonite. Wow. Base Master Sword's good enough. Alright. I might... Yeah, I'll use the Master Sword just in case anyway. Oh. Up the Glico, why not? Alright. Dun 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 da 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 da. Dee 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 dee. Doo ba da ba da ba da ba. Bee da ba da bum ba boo da boo da bee da ba 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 bum bum. No, I don't know why I've got hornpipes stuck in me head either. I used to be able to play that on the clarinet. A long time ago. You say a long time ago is because I've not practiced it since. Well, I've practiced the clarinet, but I've not practiced hornpipe stud. That's another Lizopos tail. I can play a fragrance of dark coffee on the clarinet. Right, that's another Lizopos tail. So 7, 6, oh, 5 left, I think. I love blue jazz songs about coffee. Well, if I do put out a notification on the practice lounge tomorrow, feel free to ask me to play Fragrance of Dark Coffee. I can't guarantee it'll sound particularly good, considering that I've certainly not practiced it that much on the tenor sax, but, you know, I wasn't aware that was a genre. I am very tempted at the jam session to ask in the interval, can you play me a song about coffee? Bless them, they would probably know a song about coffee. I asked them to play Take the A Train on, I think, one of them, so... Oh no, wait, was it A Train or was it Don't Get Round Much Anymore? I think it was Don't Get Round Much Anymore because I wanted to hear... Yes, no, I think it was that because I wanted to hear what they sounded like playing it before I joined them in the jam session the following month. I need to practice that one again at some point as well. Just in case. Keep my repertoire up and all that. There's a ton of weird genres and subgenres. Oh, tell me about it. Helicopter fusion. Tank blast waltzes. All sorts of weird things. So much for that then. Woo. 12. Getting there. Actually, come to think of it, I have no idea what I'm going to play after I've done Take the A Train, so I'm going to have to try and think of the song to play. Maybe another thing from Ellington. I do like Duke Ellington. I've got a biography about Duke Ellington sat on the bookshelf that I keep meaning to read. Which I'm going to do after I've finished reading the first book of the Foundation trilogy. Which I've been meaning to do for the last year. Maybe I should start reading before I go to bed again. Well, then again, it just means I'll go to bed later. Probably better than me banging my head against Arkham City for hours on end instead. So I've unfortunately reached that stubborn point of, I think, well, I should probably move on to a different game. But at the same time, I've put so much time and effort into Arkham City that do I really want to? The only saving grace is I've left the New Game Plus run for a while. So... it's 7:30. All of the Islas Opos have now gone. Okay, right, well, we'll have to switch it back then. Ah. My grandfather gave me his copy of the Foundation trilogy. Still one of my favourites. It's awesome. I've got the folio version because nobody gave me an inherited version. That said, I have ended up inheriting a lot of old books from my grandmother. Right. Including this very old one, which I think... I don't know, where is this? Longfellow's Poetical Works. Actually. Which is from... Find the publication date. Give me a minute. I should listen to Take the A Train at some point. Do you have Spotify? If you do, I can recommend the Phil Shotton Quartet. Because they do a good version. Or, if you want Ellington himself, look up Duke Ellington's 70th birthday. Because that is my favourite. I'll try and link it if I can in the Discord. Duke Ellington's 70th birthday album, which was recorded live in Manchester, England. Their version of Take the A Train is just... That's my favourite. I'm an absolute sucker for just a strike up the band moment, and so you have the first verse played by Ellington on the piano as a solo, and then you just hear him shout something. I've never worked it out, but he just calls out, and then on the next bar it's just boof, as the entire band just kicks in. The trumpet soloist on it is amazing as well. That's my favourite. But yeah, my second one is the Phil Shotton Quartet, because it's just... I know Phil, actually. Brilliant chap. Absolutely brilliant. A very talented musician. Actually, I know the quartet as well. I don't know the drummer on that album, but I certainly know the bassist and the pianist. I can't find the publication date on this one. Yes, I can. It's in Roman numerals. And I can also remember that this is about 160 years old, this book. So there we go. So yes, I've inherited a lot of old books recently. I've got a couple of books of Burns as well. Both are over 100 years old. One might be pushing 200, though I don't actually know I don't know when Burns was born or died, so, you know. Trumpets are kind of loud. Trumpets are indeed kind of loud. Though that's nothing compared to sitting in front of a trombone section. Trust me on that one. I've had to rehearse in front of a trombone section. You can't hear your own instrument. It's very nice what's coming out from behind you, but you can't hear your own instrument. Also, trumpets are loud to the point of depending on how you play them. Like any instrument. I can play my saxophone loud and I can play it slightly quiet. My clarinet's a bit tricky to play quieter. For saxophone, probably if I tried to play it as quiet as some of the stuff I have to play quiet on my clarinet would probably sound. I sort of get a hissing sound. Probably ask my teacher about that. My little sister owns a trumpet, so I could learn if I wanted, but it's loud. It is loud when you're first learning. Until you learn breath control, it's going to be loud. It's just the nature of the instrument. I mean, my saxophones are bleeding loud. But in fairness, I can play them in tune, which is always a plus. Bonk. I mean, violins, when you start learning the violin, they sound awful because you just don't have the intonation. Most musical instruments are loud, actually. Ah! Hoping for another run. Well. I wouldn't know where to learn the basics. Well, if you have the money, get a teacher. If you don't, get a basics book. I taught myself the saxophone originally. I had about 2 lessons when I was in school. That was about a decade gap between them. So I taught myself the saxophone. And then I thought, yeah, well, I'm not brilliant, but I think I'm okay at playing this. So I got up at a jam session, the same one I played now, which didn't go very well, must admit. Made a complete tit of myself on stage. But you know what? I took that as impetus to go off and get some lessons. Did. Just over a year later, come back. No, not even over a year. Under a year later. Now, I'll be 11 months this, about 10 months later, come back, played on stage, bang, knocked out of the park. No, I'm obviously not to the same level as the professional musicians on stage, but the professional musician said I did a good job, so I'm going to trust them on that. Bagpipes are fun. I like bagpipes. I do like bagpipes. I like listening to the Edinburgh Tattoo every year. What do I think about it? I think I missed it this year. That's a shame. Then again, I had a lot of stuff on this year, so... Sorry, I forget. It's 2024 now, isn't it? I had a lot of stuff on last year. I missed last year's tattoo. This year's isn't until after August. I only know that because I used to go to Edinburgh around about at the same time the Fringe was on, and you couldn't get into Edinburgh Castle because they were filming for the tattoo. I don't know. Okay, I've not done those yet, I think. I mean, it could be worse. Could be playing the bagpipes. Bagpipes are fine. I like bagpipes. The thing you have to remember, though, is if you play any sort of instrument, you're going to have to join a group at some point. Either a community orchestra, or a jazz band, or take up jam sessions if you're playing jazz, etc., etc. Because it's okay practicing in your bubble, but trust me when I say you need other musicians around you when you play. It's okay for me to practice at home with Hyrule Pro on the iPad, there's a backing track, but it's nothing compared to playing with actual musicians. Like in my lessons, when my teacher will have his tenor out and we'll play the chord changes over, well, last time it was Take the A Train, because that's what I'm playing at the jam session on Monday. So we basically just traded lines. He played a line, I did a response, he played a line, I did a response, and we just bounced off each other. A lot of fun, actually. I mean, you keep meaning to send him a message to find out if at the jam session we're doing the same thing, or if he actually wants me to take a solo. I'm a bassist on Twitch. Wait, what? I'm a bassist on Twitch. I agree, you need more people to practice. Exactly. Because you learn from each other. You also need to listen to a lot of music. If you want to play, well, not professionally. I'm never going to be a professional musician. I'm always going to be a hobbyist as far as I can see. But if you ever want to play, if you're a musician, you need to listen to music. Which is something I've been told several times, but has become more and more apparent as I've slowly progressed. Because I realised, oh right, it's a language. There's no point trying to... You can learn Japanese by reading in a book, but unless you're actually speaking it with other native speakers, you're not going to be able to pick up all the nuances of it. Same with jazz. Jazz is a language. I can play over the chord changes, and my vocabulary is quite basic at the moment, but at least I know the vocabulary, whereas before I basically just thought, oh, well, you're just playing random notes, or you're playing the melody with a slight shift on it. And it's not quite like that. I suppose in some rudimentary basic form it is, but there's a lot more to it. Bamba, nice. Right, I think that's the last of the Islazorphos. That isn't all of the tails I need, is it? No, I'm 3 short. Blast. Oh, well. Well, till the next blood moon. I can't be a pro because I forget how to play the songs immediately on stage. Ah, now. Sounds like you're trying to do what I did at my first jam session. Do you? Right, so do you have the sheets with you? Because if you don't, I'd recommend at least having the sheets, or if nothing else, the chord changes. I mean, when I play, and I know when Phil plays, we have the sheets in front of us. I mean, I've got me... I'll tell you what, I can show you. Give me a minute. So, music lesson with Ezio. Or at least a brief period of my understanding of it. So take... well, I've got it loaded at the moment. So take... Switch that over as well. Take the A train, which I'll be playing on Monday. So, when I'm up on stage, I'll have that. There you go. There's the sheets. Technically, at the top, you see the chord changes. Those are the chord changes. The D. So, just above the staves, the lines. D, E, blah, 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 blah. Now, when it comes to me playing solo or trading with Phil, then it switches over to Hyrule. Those are the chord changes. I literally have those in front of me when I'm on stage playing. So I literally have that telling me, so long as I can keep the correct timing, so long as I don't lose track with the rhythm section, those will tell me what notes I need to play, at least when I'm improvising over the chord changes. Those little symbols are the key to it. So don't be ashamed if you need to have a piece of sheet music with the chord changes and the melody on it, because I think most musicians do. Anyway. But yeah, if you can... next time I'm in the practice lounge, I mean, I won't have the webcam on or anything, but yeah, feel free to ask and I'll try and answer what I can. I don't do sheet music, I just play a game that shows the tabs. You've got the tabs. Try and you probably with bass you probably don't need the sheet music itself, but get the chords, get the chord changes, because then you've at least got, you know, what is actually making up each bar, and that's how you can do it. I don't play rhythm sections, so take a pinch of salt with that, but from a musical perspective, at least have the chord changes. Heck, even Matt, the bassist I know, on stage, I'll double check with him actually, but as far as I'm aware, he has the music in front of him, pretty low down, so pretty low down. But yeah, he stood there with his upright bass and he's playing the rhythm alongside the drums. But he's got at least the chord changes, so he knows which notes to actually play. When I first turned on stage, trying to play Take the A Train, I decided to try and do it off memory. Couldn't remember a single note. I think I remembered like 1 or 2 notes. And I managed to do some trading back and forth with Phil because he just gave me 3 notes to play around with. But yeah, after I started getting lessons, that was where I really had the eureka moment of, oh, this is what it's all about. So yeah. Can't be because I also suck at writing music, so there's that. Don't worry about writing music. You don't need to write music unless you're a composer. If you can read music, yes. If you, well, I don't know what the American. Sorry, it's another story time with Ezio at the moment. Ugh. The AB Guide to Music Theory. If you can find a copy of that, just read through it, because that'll at least give you an idea of music theory. You don't need to write music. I don't write music. I've tried to transcribe stuff before. It didn't go very well. Mainly because I just got confused and bogged down with it. You don't need to write music unless you're going to be composing stuff. If you're just playing, learn to read the music. If it's classical, then learn to just read the music and get really good at sight reading. Which is sight reading, by the way, is you have a piece of music you don't know, you've never heard before, and you literally play it based on the notation written on the piece of paper. That's it. If you're playing jazz, learn the chord changes, or at least practice your arpeggios, major and minor arpeggios, because they're the basis of everything. Once you've got them diminished, your diminished scales, basically, or diminished arpeggios, I don't know what term there is, I've only just started learning them, to be honest, and learn the chord changes, because the chords are literally just the triads, or the arpeggios of the major and minor chords. So if you see D major, you know it's D, F sharp, or A, and then you just play. You can play around with those three notes across the octaves. If it's an E major, then it's E, G sharp, B. If it's an E minor, E, G, B flat, and you can just play around. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no. If it's an E minor, yeah, E minor is E, G, B flat, because no, E, B, no. No! Oh, I've got that. I've remembered that wrong. E, G, B, because you flatten the third note of the arpeggio. Sorry, I'm wittering about music theory now. Sorry, you got me on a tangent. But yes. Also, my tempo. Many bands use earpieces that clickers on stage. Really? I've not done that. I've never done that. I've not done that in the orchestra, and I didn't do it on stage at the Red Bar, or where I'm currently playing the jam sessions. No. You don't need a click. Why would you need a clicker? You have the drum. If you get a good drummer, the drummer will keep the tempo. Everyone will follow the drum. Or if you're in an orchestra, the conductor keeps the tempo, the drummer goes off the tempo, and driving everything forward, and everyone sort of follows the stick, and that's it. But yeah, no clickers in your ears, blimey. Nope, never encountered that one. I was saying I can't be a pro because I can't write music, but lyrics are fun to write, even if I also can't sing. Oh, there are plenty of people who have wrote lyrics who can't sing. And don't worry about writing music. You can be a musician. Well, you can't be a pro. Well, you can't. You don't need to be able to. It depends. You can be a pro musician if you can't write music. You can be a pro musician, a pro at playing your instrument really bloody well. You don't need to be able to write your own stuff. Most people do eventually go into writing their own stuff, but only after years of experience where they know how to write stuff. They know how to write the melodies. They know how to do this. Would I love to be able to compose like Duke Ellington? Of course I would, but I'm not Duke Ellington. So, yeah. Bob Dylan, but I can play. To a degree. To an intermediate come advanced degree, I can play. So, I would never say I'm a pro, I'm a hobbyist, because I don't do music as a living. I don't gig all the time. I just play here and there. But yes, it didn't stop me from getting up on the playing on stage at the Liverpool Philharmonic. So yeah, no. Bob Dylan can't really sing, but he wrote some great songs. Yeah, bands of other genres use them so they don't mess up and get off beat. Well, okay, fair enough. I suppose if you've not got a drummer, fine, you can probably use a metronome in your ear, but I don't know. Yeah. Fair enough. I suppose, yeah. If you're in a recording studio and you've not got a drummer present, that's the best way to keep things going. But so long as the entire band's together, you can have slowdown and it still works. I mean,